We've got the lead singer from the Earls with us now, Larry Chance. Larry, I'm glad you could take time out of your schedule to visit with me. You know, people are still listening to music from the 50s and 60s and, young and old too. It's not just us old fogies listening. What do you think it is about that music that keeps it popular even now?
Well, I think it was fun music. And it was about love. I want to find a love. I lost a love. I need a love. And pretty much that's it, from the heart. And
of course, you had those that were about teenage tragedies too. But even those, still are hanging around. Give us, in case folks don't know who Larry Chance is, give us kind of a brief overview of, before we kind of delve into the details of your story.
Larry Chance is the lead singer of the Earls, who first recording success was in 1961 with an up-tempo version of the Harptones' Life is But a Dream. That was followed by Remember Then in 1962, and that was followed by Never and Eyes and Looking for My Baby and so forth.
Well, now, I went to Wikipedia to kind of get some of my information here. I was familiar, but I thought, I need a little bit more information, and hopefully it's all accurate. Wikipedia sometimes is not the most dependable place to get your stuff.
Oh, I know.
But according to that, you went to high school in Philadelphia with some pretty big names, or what became pretty big names.
Yes, Frankie Avalon and Chubby Checker, who I knew as Ernest Evans.
Okay.
And I went to school with them for a couple of years, and then my family moved to the Bronx, New York.
Okay. Now I talked with Bobby Rydell here a week or two ago. He was from Philadelphia. Did he go to school with you too?
No, he was from a different section.
Okay. All right. Well, now, how did the Earls get started?
The second floor boys' room at Evander Childs High School in the Bronx.
Okay. That kind of sounds like... Go ahead.
From the boys' room to the street corner. And we serenaded everybody when they got off the train or the bus. And we'd be there singing for them on the corner.
Okay. So, but you were already out of high school by that time, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because
well, actually, while we were in high school, we were still singing on the corners.
Okay.
School.
Okay. That reminds me, and I'll kind of get into this a little bit later on, but back in the early to mid '70s, that oldies revival that came along, I was in high school about that time. And 3 or 4 of my buddies, we'd get together and sing after basketball practice in the locker room. And so I figure it's kind of a similar story with a lot of these groups like that. And doo-wop was what we the first song we learned was Barbara Ann. And so that's kind of how we went along. Barbara Ann, Get a Job.
Strange that you mentioned Barbara Ann. Guy Valeri, the lead singer, who unfortunately passed away a little over a year ago. Today is his birthday.
Oh.
And we lived 1 mile apart on the same road.
Well, that's, that type of music is, it's always been one of my favorite types just because it is so fun to sing.
Oh, absolutely fun.
And there seems to be... I'm a fan of barbershop quartet music too, so they have their standards, and I guess doo-wop is really no different. You've got those standards that all the groups kind of fall back on to fill out their show, their repertoire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume you guys started out learning some of those in the beginning. What songs did y'all sing early on?
Earth Angel and The Still of the Night.
Yeah.
Rama Lama Ding Dong, and there were so many great ones.
Yeah. Yeah, well, those that you mentioned were, the ones that came to mind to me too. What groups that were out before you did? Were there any that influenced you guys?
Oh, absolutely. The Flamingos and the Mungos.
I'm going back to Wikipedia here. It says that the Earls were known for your baby talk style of background harmony. Explain what that is.
Oh, as an example, remember then the background was oop shoop shanga like a chicky bop.
Okay.
And bada bada bop bop shoo bop shoo bop bop and wop wop doo bop bop.
Okay. All right. That's what they. Okay.
What we actually did, we tried to do horn parts with voices.
Right. Okay. Now I get it. I never taught to my kids, bop bop shoo wop, but I get the connection there now.
Right.
Now, you lost one of your members really early on.
Yeah, Larry Palumbo. He joined the Army, became a member of the 82nd Airborne Division, and never returned home. In fact, a song that we recorded called I Believe was done to honor him.
Well, I was going to mention that one. From what I read, you recorded it, but it really got big in the 70s.
Yes.
That's funny how that works. You wonder, well, why?
We've been around for many years, and I have closed our show with that song and a dedication to him since it was recorded. And I guess little by little over the years, people got to know it in that way.
Okay.
Then radio stations, oldies stations, began to play it, and it became probably our most requested.
It's always seemed strange to me how a group or an artist could put out a song and it not do really well, and then they turn around and put it out maybe a year or two later, and it just explodes. And I'm thinking, well, what's different about it this time around?
Well, sometimes the label might change distributors, and they have a better distribution. One never knows. Maybe the time is just right for that song.
Yeah. Well, now, whenever you first got signed on Rome Records, how did all that come about?
Well, with Rome Records, Trade Martin, who had his own big hit called That Stranger Used to Be My Girl, someone handed me his business card, and we gave him a call. He took us into the studio, and 3 weeks later, we had a release.
Well, it's not that easy anymore.
Oh.
Now, you released a couple of singles with them, and I see where you also performed with Murray the K and on American Bandstand, too.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go on any of those road shows with the other artists, that they used to have?
Yes, we did.
Who?
It was a lot of fun. It really was.
Who did you go on the road with?
We did one show with Gary U.S. Bonds, the Earls, Caesar and the Romans, Little Caesar and the Romans, Mellow Kings, Anthony and the Imperials, and there was one other group whose name I don't recall offhand.
Yeah. Well, now
that was by bus.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of those pictures, and I thought, man, how cramped must that have been? That movie, That Thing You Do, comes to mind too. Kind of showing the folks going around on the buses and singing at the.
You know what? When you're young, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
It's just, for us, it was a lot of fun back then. I can't imagine doing it now.
Oh yeah, you mentioned the song "Remember Then." That was your first hit. That's another. And by the way, we learned that song too. So that was part of our repertoire too in our early days.
A good street corner song.
Oh yeah. You mentioned Eyes, I believe. You went solo for a while though. What did you just want to try something new or what?
Well, I live here in the Catskill Mountains, and the Catskills is what they call the Borscht Belt. It's famous for having the greatest entertainers in the country work here. and I got to open for many of them, for Alan King and just all the big names, Milton Berle, and so forth. So I've always done both, solo artist and with the Earls.
Okay. What kind of stuff do you do when you're solo? I mean,
I do an entirely different act. I don't do any Earls material.
Okay.
Because I feel if you want the Earls material, you have to hire the Earl.
Yeah, that's true.
But it wouldn't be fair to my fellows, you know.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I don't know, there's so many groups now that perform under the same name. I mean, you got, I don't know how many different Drifters groups, maybe the Flamingos or the Cadillacs, you know. I don't know. It seems kind of a ripoff to me, you know. That's just a personal feeling.
Well, I understand that, and I agree with you. That's why we're called Larry Chance and the Earls.
Yeah.
Also, there's Vito Pacone and the Elegants. There was Lenny Coco and the Chimes. And the reason that we do that is so that you know when you go to see us, you're seeing the original lead singer that made the records.
Yeah. And you know, there are some of those groups, too, where it's, you know, the original lead singer and there's no other members and there's no other groups. He's just going out with a different bunch of guys. So you know, I don't really have a problem with that so much.
Yeah, I know Charlie Thomas and the Drifters are still working, and Shirley Alston with, you know, the Shirelles are still working, so they're the real thing.
Yeah. When after you came back from your first solo thing there, y'all started playing your own instruments. I mean, I guess, did you feel like it maybe interfered with your choreography before that, or what?
No, to be honest with you, when the oldies situation began to go to sleep for a while, so let's say, in order to continue in the business, and we worked places like the Peppermint Lounge, and you had to be fully self-contained.
Okay.
And so we added the musicians, and it kept us working places like the Cheetah, the Peppermint Lounge, etc. You know, and it just kept us in show business.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought maybe you didn't play before because, you know, you had your little moves and everything, and it just, you know, having a guitar slung around your neck wouldn't make that very easy to do, you know.
It was just a way to stay in the business.
Right.
When you mentioned the revival in the 70s, most of the groups were out of the business at that time. But we were never out of the business due to the fact that we added 3 horns and played a lot of percussion instruments and became a total kind of a dance band.
Yeah. A dance band. That's funny you mentioned that because I'd seen where you kind of dipped into the disco waters a little with
Absolutely.
With the song, and I went back and I listened to it online. Well, I went to your website and listened to it, and I thought, okay, well that's interesting because it doesn't when it first starts out, it doesn't sound like it's going to be disco. It kind of sounds like more doo-woppy type, you know, and then it launches into the beat there.
Yeah.
So, well, I saw you also performed in the Broadway version of A Bronx Tale along the way.
Well, if you go to see it in his one-man show, the walkout music is ours. It's our music.
Uh-huh.
And the song that was in the film, we did the original for him. We did it as an up-tempo on the streets of the Bronx.
You co-wrote a song called Elvis, He's Alive in the early 90s. How did that come about?
I don't know. I liked Elvis.
Okay. Well, I mean, I do too. I thought, well, you know, maybe somebody's reading the National Enquirer there, and, you know, it kind of sparked some imagination.
I thought he was great.
Yeah. You were also a cancer survivor.
Yes, I had throat cancer.
I mean, I'm sure it affected you.
Well, I'm like the Ever Ready Bunny.
You keep on going. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, PBS shows all these specials with these groups. Have y'all been a part of any of those? Or maybe I've just missed it.
At least 2 or 3, yes.
Okay. All right. Because I try to catch those, but then sometimes, you know, after they start pitching everything, I kind of drift away.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So, but I like them. So you're just keeping on going. You're still out there.
Still pushing, still out there.
With the Earls. Have you got anything coming up? Maybe a book or?
We just released a new album called From the Heart.
Okay. Where's that?
At our website, LarryChanceFromTheEarls.com.
Okay. And it sounds like you need to be working on a book. You know, being in the business that you're at, I know you've seen.
We've talked about it. It's possible in the future.
Okay. Well, good luck with everything you got coming up, and I appreciate you talking to me.
Well, thank you for having me.
All righty. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Larry Chance, lead singer of the Earls. Again, you can go to their website, LarryChanceandTheEarls.com, and order their new CD and even older music. Thanks again to Larry for his time.